Hey, how's it going? Kind of want to do like a little quick thing here. Um, a lot of my videos, obviously, I throw like really hard satire on or mockery of something by like pretending to go with a culture or thought and running with it. But like something that's really like I found like sickening, genuinely, and I've made a lot of humor towards it. Most of my like thick satire videos go towards it are like the whole idea of the different things, and there's all sorts of weird terms for it, so you'll have to forgive me if you're not like super internet savvy to know these terms as like loveshy, TFL, Incel. But it's like people who feel, and it's like a man thing now, which is really weird for me. For growing up when I did, is we had like this whole thing about like women that were like super clingers, and now it's like turned over to a male thing. Like these people who genuinely believe that their own existence are like these really incredibly basic things like brushing your teeth entitle you to a relationship. And not even like what a relationship is, but like this whole idea and of like a submissive partner who exists pretty much to serve you. And what's really interesting about this is I was talking to a friend of mine about this. Is like it's really like a whole end all of communism, communist ideals, Marxism, whatever ism of the left beliefs you think of, because these people, which is really a strange thing too, because a lot of them take very right wing belief systems, but like basically they're saying like a slave is not good enough for me. One of the few things a slave possesses in their existence throughout history. We have different things of what slavery was or is. Where sometimes we go back to like Roman society where slaves were handed the estate, they were freed, they were et cetera, et cetera. These people are saying like slavery wasn't good enough for us. We need more. And of course, like any sort of person who takes some sort of crazed fringe belief and is a complete traitor human, of course they have no problem taking away from you or I, the taxpayer. But they hate welfare leeches as much as they are, but they generally believe like the fact they can't get laid is a reason that the taxpayer should cover their life. But the whole thing, what I'm trying to say is a slave is you can, if you own a slave, depending what era time you are in, you can beat your slave, you can rape your slave, you can mutilate your slave. It's yours, it's property. You can key your own fucking car, right? And these people are basically telling these slaves, like, the one thing that you can hold true is your own belief system, respect, and feelings. We need to strip that from you to support my ego. Because if I owned a slave, or you owned a slave, let's be honest, in almost all societies that had dealt with slavery, you could. I mean, that's mine. It's a piece of property. As much as I want to hold down and fuck my car, you can do it to a slave. There were certain examples, and I'm not going to sidetrack about it, where that wasn't acceptable to, abuse your slave or to use your slave for sex. But these people want that, but at the same time, that is not a good enough end to them. That they basically have a purchased lifetime prostitute for a single lump sum. That these people want to be worshipped by someone that they're constantly being sexual with, and they wouldn't be a rapist, they'd be a hero because they're sleeping with their hot girlfriend who totally wants it, because their egos are so fragile that they really need that. And it's just like such a sick example of like society, and that's why I have no problem like making fun of these people, because some people want families and they can't pull them together for whatever reason. Like the whole concept of this is, it's like such a be all and end all of like, however you feel politically about things. Like, you might feel that like everybody should have to go to college for free, everybody should have health care for free, the tax base, and it creates a better society. Okay, I'm not going to get into this whole political thing, I'm against that, but like, we can talk about that as a whole different topic. These people are saying like slavery isn't good enough for society. Like, we're not at a point where like I'm not happy with one aspect of my life, so I shouldn't have to contribute to society, regardless of what I offer, which if you look into the history of communism, that tends to get you shot very quickly. But, you know, I'm entertaining for this theory. Is basically saying, like, the fact that, like, yes, we have all the coal we need, we have all the wheat we need, we have all this, that, and the other we need. The fact, like, there's enough of that going around, but the fact that I do not have a girlfriend, I don't have a boyfriend, I don't have someone to give me children, I deserve to not have to contribute to society. Like, if you can start picturing, like, from the other side of the coin, because, like, the people that get, like, caught in these mindsets are obviously, as I mentioned, a lot of them are societal leeches. And I use that term as very much as a leech, regardless of where you stand politically. Like, these people could be working, could be contributing, but they feel like, I don't have a girlfriend, I'm not going to get a fucking job. It's not worth it. I don't have what I want, so I'm not going to do it. Now, if you go into, especially to these societies that they are worshipping, they would be drugged up to a wall and shot. And we have a lot of historical proof that that happens. But these people are saying, like, basically, they're going for, like, past the end game of the fact of, like, these left societies. We're saying, like, everybody will be supplied with it. You'll have food, you'll have water, you'll have heat, you'll have a shelter. Okay. You know, if that's your political beliefs, your thoughts and everything like that, you're going to work for that. People are also now putting something like having a relationship, regardless of how little or how much they have to offer, as a requirement down there with food, which is, like, so sick. Because when people are terrible and they don't date because they're terrible. I don't know. I'm kind of drunk and giggling about these fucking nut jobs. But it just, like, really bothers me. Like, this is something that's becoming, like, even in, like, these little weird echo chambers, it's becoming acceptable. Like, these are really dangerous people on a lot of levels. And that's why I have no problem, like, making fun of them. Like, I try to, like, I stand very thickly on my own beliefs. I generally think one of the most important things is, like, I listen to other people's beliefs. Because as much as I disagree, I learn from them. I see how people come to these thoughts. But, like, this is, like, this whole thing of, like, where you just basically know, like, if anybody gets into this ideals, you just walk away from them. At least on an intellectual standpoint. Like, if they talk about this stuff, you just know they're a genuinely bad person, generally a user. Because, as I said, like, the whole idea for them is basically they're trying to take the only piece of a dignity a slave owns. And to me, that's, like, so disgusting. That's, like, up there with pedophilia. Is, you know, you're really targeting the weakest of the weak and pounding on them as hard as you can. And I didn't mean to make the reference of that. It's just, these people are so narcissistic that they generally feel that they should have ownership of a person to an emotional level, and that really sickens me. But whatever, I'm going to probably do some other videos about some other stuff. There's, like, there's a million things going on right now, and I really try to, like, keep out of political stuff, because I just don't want to do that and get into, like, e-beefs or blah blah blah. Not that anybody fucking cares about my channel, but, you know, I just don't want to get into, like, these long debates or anything like that. I just want to do whatever I want to fucking do, and that's how I do. So, whatever. But, yeah, so that's my video. Peace.